But, Mike, we did find out which 4 teams are going to be playing for college football's national championship, and it made some people down in Tallahassee pretty upset, but it did end up with Alabama getting that 4th slot as opposed to Florida State, Texas in the 3rd slot, Washington in the 2 hole, and then Michigan number 1. I think they did it right. I think if you are being realistic with yourself and you say, yes, is it very incredibly unfortunate that Jordan Travis went down for Florida State? Absolutely. Do we feel bad for Florida State? Absolutely. But are they one of the 4 best teams currently today, as currently constructed? I think it would be very hard to tell yourself that you honestly feel that they are. And I mean, listen, they did them a courtesy, I guess, by putting them at 5. If we're being honest, they're not better than Georgia. They're probably not better than a couple other teams. They probably, if you're being realistic as currently constructed, they're probably 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. But at the end of the day, they don't make the top 4. It's going to be Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama.
Yeah, I think the committee got it right. And I agree with you. Look, Florida State had a phenomenal season, but the fact of the matter is they are not the same team when Jordan Travis isn't out there. And they would have been a 10-point favorite over Louisville. And I think they had a chance last night going into that Louisville game to earn that spot. But when it was 3-0 at half, and the way that they were able to move the football was trickery runs, like, we don't want to see that in the college football playoff. And let's be honest, they're in this to make money. Taking Bama in that 4 spot and having them face Michigan instead of having Florida State go in there as 14.5, 15-point dogs to Michigan was the correct play. This is going to be the better football game. It's the better football team. You put the SEC champion in there. You've got Texas in there. I'm happy that Texas didn't get left out. I thought there was a world where this was going to be Michigan, Washington, Bama, Florida State, and that would have been a shame for Texas, who had beaten Bama. So I think they got it right, and I'm excited for both these games. I think they're going to be fun games. I bet them both already.
It's currently at DraftKings, Michigan, a 1.5 favorite over Alabama. 46.5 is the total. Texas, a 4.5-point favorite over Washington. 64 is the total in that one. I bet Alabama at 2 has moved a half a point down to a 1.5. I do wonder here, Mike, as people really get cranking and going and betting these games, if this doesn't end up getting flipped. I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama doesn't go off as a favorite in this game.
Yeah, I bet Alabama 2.5 right when it opened. I agree with you. I think Bama ends up as a point and a half favorite in this spot. Maybe around pick'em, but I think Bama is going to end up as a short favorite. If you haven't played the game yet, I would play plus 102 on Alabama. I think they're the better team. I think they've been tested all season. They've been playing a lot better football. And now you get Saban with 4 weeks to prepare against Harbaugh and a team that doesn't win these games normally. So, yeah, I think Alabama should be the favorite in this game. I already got them plus 2.5, and I would take the money line at plus 102 right now.
Yeah, the other thing about this game, and this is taking nothing away from Michigan's season, they can't help it. They play in a conference where there's not any good teams, right? And they played one big game all year, and they didn't have to do anything in that game. And, you know, J.J. McCarthy, I think in these big games too, Mike, like them just saying, you know what, we don't really need you, so we're just not going to use you. I don't know if that really does this team any favors when it comes to the national championship hunt, because they are not going to be able to just bully Alabama like they did all of these other teams all season long. And McCarthy really didn't have to step up in any of these games. Like, he didn't really have to be the dude in any of these games. And I think that really plays against them overall here. I really, really like Alabama in this game.
I agree with you. It's just a tough spot to step in here after not having those pressure throws consistently from McCarthy to then play against an Alabama defense, which is going to be the best defense they face all year. And also on the offensive side, this is the most explosive offense that they will face all year, especially with how Milroe's been spinning it ever since that loss to Texas. So to me, this is just a great spot here to get a piece of Alabama. I like them off the preparation. I like the fact that they played significantly better since Milroe was benched. And they have been more prepared for this game because of the route that they took to get here. So I think Bama is the right side.
If you look, Michigan plus 180 to win it all. Alabama 2-1 to win it all. Texas plus 260, and then Washington way out at 7-1. I think that's priced appropriately as well. Though, like I said, I do like Alabama, but when I say more priced appropriately, I mean Washington kind of being the distant fourth. Great season, of course. They go in, they beat Oregon, and that got them here, Mike. But at the end of the day, if you really look at this and you compare these teams and these resumes and what, you know, kind of their makeup and what their strengths and weaknesses are, Washington is definitely the weakest of these 4.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see, man. I took some Washington plus 4.5 or plus 5 against Texas earlier today. Plus 4.5 still available. I like Washington quite a bit in that game. They have played close games all year and have played well in them. It's going to be a very different offense than what Texas has faced all year. And I was really impressed with how physical Washington was able to be with Oregon in the Pac-12 title game. I think it's Bama. I think it's Bama Washington in the finals right now. If I had to pick both these games, and I bet Bama and I bet Washington. So I like Washington a decent amount here against Texas. That's going to be a fun game too. There's going to be a lot of points in that game, and Penix is going to have a chance to show out against what I think is a good but a very gettable Texas defense.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.